Guys, Orly Shani here. Welcome to my channel. I gotta say, you're here on kind of a crazy day because I got a mystery package on my front steps the other day, and I can only assume it's from Brawl Stars. You guys know Brawl Stars? It's like the insanely popular mobile game because they're sponsoring this video, and all I was told, literally, all I was told was someday in the not so distant future, you will be receiving a package. The contents of this package are a mystery. What is inside is perfectly suited to your skill set. Let's see what you can do. Are you kidding me? So I get a knock at the door, I open it, nobody's there. All that's sitting there is a package that says Star Park. Star Park. I have no idea what this is. I grab it, I walk into my house, I grab scissors, I open the box. Inside, there's a letter that says I cannot share these contents with anybody until today's video release. And inside is the most insane fabric I have ever seen in my entire life. Now, not only is it fabric, it's actually pillowcases and a bed sheet from Star Park. Now, this has giant stars on it, and it has all these crazy colors and geometric shapes, and they point together. And as I started draping different possibilities and outfits, every idea I had was not gonna work because literally the graphic would become inappropriate in 2 seconds. Like every triangle would end in like a weird spot, or would like point at a weird spot, or would make things look really wide, or like it was impossible. And I stressed and freaked out for days on what to make. I wanted to make something cool, not only for Brawl Stars, but for you guys. I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? And I messed up on so many things. I wasted so much fabric trying to make it perfect, but ultimately it all worked out for the better because what I made is way cooler than what I planned on making. What I end up doing is something that you guys could do with like a pile of graphic t-shirts or a bunch of old jerseys that you might have. Recombining all of these graphic elements to make something one of a kind and custom is so cool, and I can't wait to show you what I did. So let's get right into it. I hope that you guys like this one. If you are brand new to the channel, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. I do awesome DIY fashion and home decor videos, even doing some fun beauty ones lately as well, so you don't want to miss one. Okay, oh my god, I can't wait to hear what you guys think. Let's get right into it. All right, here is that trippy, landmine-filled geometric pattern. You can see when I draped it, like, it's pointing at things. It's like giant arrows pointing in inappropriate ways. I thought maybe I would make this. It was kind of this, like, front wrap skirt, and then I sort of draped these pants, and I thought, okay, you know what? I could possibly make a pair of pants and line up all of the graphics in flattering ways. I don't end up making these pants, so I'm literally just sharing with you my mistakes. This is like 1 minute long highlight reel of my mistakes. I was cutting out the pant legs, and I really wanted them to line up perfectly. That way when the seam in the center front lines up, it's perfect. However, I made 2 right legs, which I realize right now. Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't handle it well. Not only that, but the pattern I made off of a pair of stretch pants. So they wouldn't fit. I mean, I couldn't even get them on. So what I needed to do was actually cut perfectly on the line so that the seam would line up perfectly, like extensions. So basically where 2 darts would be in the back, I added an entire seam. This took an insane amount of tweaking because of all the ways that I screwed it up. The tighter it all gets, I think the cooler it will look. If it's baggy, they're gonna look like clown pants. You know, I had to do that seam here, which is basically like this whole thing is like an extension because I made it too small. That lands on the butt, which is kind of cute. Might look like eyeballs. So this is what they were gonna look like. And I mean, they're cool, but ultimately I was just like, no, forget it. Forget it, forget it, forget it. So what I ended up doing is I just cut out a bunch of the elements of this pattern into each individual piece. So I cut out the stars, I cut out these little triangles, and I cut all of them out on the yellow line. So I really like traced them out. I even cut some of the stars out of the middle so that I ended up with these like star outlines. Basically, I thought if I just cut the pieces apart, maybe I can create something custom and place all of the geographic patterns in a flattering, cool way, as opposed to needing to work around them. So I rotated these around. These triangles originally angled towards each other, which sort of created a wide bust look, but it needed to go that way in order for the star to be, the writing on the star to be angled right. So basically I cut them out, and right now I pinned them on as a top, and I was like, it's actually kind of cool. It almost has this like 1970s like crocheted top look. So I started pinning more and more pieces together. And what's cool is because they're all even, the ends are all even because they fit together, they refit together perfectly. Like the length of the points of the star and the points of the triangles are all equal. So I literally was able to just start patching them in and filling in the gaps and recreating my own custom pattern. So what I'm doing here is I'm making a dress. So I created the top by doing 3 of the triangles together. Then I started adding stars to the bottom to make the whole skirt be this cool, like pointed star, kind of drapey, asymmetric pattern. This is really gonna be just a step and repeat process for you to figure out what works. Again, I think this could be really cool to do with like a pile of graphic shirts that you have, where you literally cut out all the graphics and just start fitting them together in ways that are flattering. So it'll be specific to you, but to me, what I just wanted to make sure was that it wasn't too low in the back, that I had nice coverage in the front, and that the skirt was gonna be long enough that I could actually wear it as a dress. So I wanted to create some spaghetti straps. Now this is the only part of this that's sewing. The rest of this is totally no sew. I cut a 2-inch strip of my fabric and now I'm gonna fold it face to face and sew it. Now I flip it inside out. I have one of those little tools that you use to flip skinny, spaghetti straps inside out. So I'm just using that. Otherwise, of course, you can go ahead and use a safety pin if you want. So here's my spaghetti strap. I'm just pressing the strap so that it's nice and crisp and even. And now I'm gonna be able to attach it to my dress and get a sense for the actual fit and the actual drape. So what I did is for now, I'm just pinning it right to the very top of the dress. And as soon as I looked at it, I realized like, ooh, it would actually be really cool to have a couple of little hooks so that I could like loop the strap in on the left and pull the bust tighter and then come together and tie a little bow in the back. So I made my second strap and I go to try it on just to make sure that it works, which it does. So now it's a matter of connecting all of the pieces. Now, like I said, this is no sew. So all of these pieces are just lightly pinned together, but I know where they're going. So I take my Fabritac glue, nice thin line, because this is lightweight fabric, and I just am laying one triangle on top of the other triangle, literally like an 1/8 of an inch overlap so that I still see a little bit of that yellow outline. And again, because I cut all of them on the yellow, all of the sides are even. So they really do fit together like this perfect little puzzle. I'm just adding glue in all of the areas and starting to connect them. This comes together super fast because once you've pinned it in place, that's all the hard part. Now it's just removing the pins and adding glue to attach the 2 pieces where the pins once were. Now this is the back of my dress, right? So those 3 triangles you see on the left are the back. I'm coming in towards the side here where the 2 stars come together to make my skirt. And really, again, once you've pinned it and you've tried it on, this can lay flat and it's just a matter of fabric gluing it all into place. This is that little back piece. This is basically the small of my back, and that little triangle I added is what makes it, so that it's not too low on my back showing my underwear. Now, my kids arrived home and this was too cute not to share. I'm almost done with my dress. I got so much work done while you guys were gone.
I love it.
You do? Wait till you see it on. Super.
Wait till you see what's behind my back.
What? What are those for?
It's for you.
Those are for me?
Yep.
Thank you.
Daddy bought them for you.
Aww. How sweet is that? My husband knew I had a lot of work to do, so he took the kids to the market for me. All right, so basically now I am creating those little hooks that are gonna anchor the strap so that, again, they can kind of create more of a structure and form on the bust. So what I recommend doing is looping through your strap so that you can figure out exactly which angle you want those to go in. Another idea I had was actually creating another wider spaghetti strap that I could use to create this cool detail on the waist. Not only would it create a nice crisp detail, but it would allow me to tie the center front together so that this thing doesn't fly open on me. And then the last thing is the way that these triangles lay on the bust is super important because of the shape. If they end up too wide, it's gonna make me look wide. If they end up too close, it's gonna make my nipples look too close. So all I'm doing is taking those tiny straps and just fastening them to the front of the shirt. That way it doesn't open any more than I want it to. And then this last part is totally optional, but it does give it a nice clean finish look. I'm just taking another one of those odds and ends and wrapping it around where the spaghetti strap meets my shirt so it has like a nice crisp border. All right, so this is done. I'm letting this dry, and I had one other idea I wanted to try, like a custom graphic tracksuit. So I took all of the odds and ends, the random stars, the outlines of the stars, which were these really cool like geometric stripes, and I thought I would put them on top of a white hoodie and a pair of gray sweatpants. So basically all I'm doing is laying them on and trying to create balance. And this was what I had, but what I noticed is I was too repetitive, right? I had 2 empty stars on the left and 2 closed stars on the right. So I just needed to swap those. Once I swapped them, it was time to actually glue them on. So the first thing I'm gonna do is use tacky spray. The reason I like this is it's sort of, not only is it flexible, meaning you can put it down and take it off and reposition it, but it allows you to sort of get the whole thing to lay really flat. Whereas in order to do that, making sure that it's all flat with no wrinkles, you need like 1,000 pins. So by just using the tacky spray, it sort of forms everything super, super flat and doesn't allow the graphic to move, not only when you're actually attaching it, but also when you're wearing it. It doesn't have this like bubble gap in the middle. So all I do is tacky spray each of them on until I have the overall look I want. Make sure to open anything that's on a side seam flat so that you can make sure it lays totally flat and doesn't have a weird crease. Again, I'm doing the same thing. This is my shoulder, laying it nice and flat. Now, again, to keep with the no-sew aspect of it all, I'm just taking my Fabritac and I'm putting a thin line of glue only on the edge. The tacky spray is gonna hold the rest of it really flat, but it's not strong enough to hold like for good. So this glue is gonna basically it's like sewing your edges down. Of course, if you know how to sew and you wanna have like a cool detail, you could zigzag stitch in a really cool bold color all along the edges, almost like patches. But if you don't and you want this to be no-sew like me, just use your fabric glue, thin lines across all of the edges. The last thing I wanted to do was to actually crop this because, I don't know, once I tried it on, I didn't love it. So I took the star off before it had time to dry, cropped the sweatshirt, and then I thought it would look cool to make it look like I had cropped the star. So I cut it right under Park, like super close on the line, lined it right up to the edge so it looked like I actually cut it all at the same time. And I was done, you guys. Oh my God. All right, well, that's it. I want to show you what these guys look like on. Combining them is super cute. Wearing them on their own is super cute. I hope that you like this. And thanks to Brawl Stars for this challenge, man. It's not easy, but I think I did it. I think I did it.
Hold up, place go wild when I pull up. They all on me like they want some. Think I got what you need, well I have none. Hop off, you're a freak and I'm handsome. Slide up in the club like 2 chains. This snake is on top of the food chain. Stand out like a star, no new name. These words in my DMs, no message back, I just see them. I get them hooked and I reel and then throw them back when completely. I'm a VIP. All these chicas, all these mamas begging me for affection. But just like C. Darwin, I live for natural selection.